So, nested scenes inside OBS. What are they? What are they used for? Why do I use them? Let's jump over to OBS and take a look why these useful things will help you out in stream. Super useful, super handy. I only just learned this and I wish I'd knew this a long time ago. It would have saved me a lot of messing around. So it's quite tricky. It took me a little while to get my head around it, but now I have. I'm going to do my best to explain it to you guys. Hopefully, Mr. Turbograss. Hopefully it'll help you out as well and help you sort out your stream. Just make it a little bit more organized and stuff like that. So let's jump over to OBS and we'll take a look. I'd just like to give a shout out and say thank you to the sponsor of today's video, VBI. Visuals by Impulse is the place to go if you're looking for any stream aesthetics, overlays, stinger transitions, stream deck icons, full packages, anything that you need regarding to the stream. Go and check them out. There's a link in the description for 5% off everything. Thank you, my guys. Right, we're here inside the desktop. We have the brand new release today, 27.2.0 OBS. If yours doesn't look like this, don't worry. This is a brand new, fresh copy. I've put a theme on it. If we've got enough time at the end of the video, I'll show you how to bang themes on yours so you can make it slightly more colourful. So here we are. We've got a completely blank canvas, no sources and no scenes. This is where we're going to be spending most of our day today, inside the scenes and sources file right here. And this is where we're going to try and put some sources inside some scenes to make nested scenes. Right, so the first thing you want to do is create some scenes, and then from there we can add some sources. So scenes, most gamers have a gaming scene, so we're going to call this GG for gaming. This is our first gaming scene. As you can see, it's got no sources, the screen is black. So that's our gaming screen. A lot of people have a Be Right Back screen, so we'll call this one BRB, Be Right Back. We're going to add one more, and that's going to be chatting. As most streamers have just a chatting screen, I do myself. So they're your three main screens. These are the ones we're going to be working on, and then you can add to it and make it yours yourself. But these are the three we're going to be working on. So I've put this in here. This is just another scene. All I did was, instead of giving it a name, is just draw a bunch of lines, and then we can use that as a partition between the scenes just to help you out and help you get a little bit more organized. I'll delete that one I just made because I've got one here. So I'm going to move this one down, and then we've got our three scenes and this flat line. So next thing you want to do is adding sources. So normally what you do to add a source is to jump into here, add webcam source or your media source or your game capture, display capture, and add it in here. But today we're going to add it as a scene. So down here, add. We're going to call this one screen capture because we're going to capture a screen. This could be your game capture or anything like that, but we're going to call this screen cap. Okay, so we'll okay that one. And then inside screen cap, that's where you add your source. So we've got the screen cap here, we've got the source here. Inside the screen cap is where we're going to add our source. So we'll jump in here and we'll add our display capture. We'll leave it as display capture, and then we know what it is. Obviously you can name it what you want, but for this, we'll just leave it as display capture, all right? So there's our display capture. We'll put this on display number 3. This is one of my desktop screens over here on the left-hand side. So as you can see here, we've got our desktop capture inside our screen capture scene. Okay, so that's a source. All right, so again, we'll make another scene, not source. We'll make another scene and we'll call this webcam. So I'm just going to call it cam. Most streamers need a webcam, right? So then inside the cam scene, we add a source. So we're going to add another source, video capture device in OBS. That's your webcam. So we're going to add a webcam. My webcam's obviously busy over here recording this video, so I'm just going to grab chroma cam. You'll get the idea. It'll just look like a webcam, but it won't be a webcam. So add your webcam, go down the list, find the one that you're using. I'm just going to use chroma cam here for an example, just for us to give us something to look at. So this will be your gaming webcam. Okay, so there's your little webcam inside your scene of camera. So in the screen capture, we've got the screen. Inside the camera, we've got the camera. But inside the GG for gaming, Be Right Back and chatting are all empty. So now we can start adding sources inside scenes. So inside the gaming screen, we're going to want our screen capture. So instead of going to sources and adding display capture and going through all that, add existing and going through this and going through that, forget all that, add the source, but add a scene to the source. This is new inside OBS. There's a little button here for scene, which means you can add one of these scenes inside this folder here. So I'm going to add a scene. The scene I'm going to choose is screen capture, because inside my gaming, obviously I want my screen capture or my game capture or whatever it is that you're supposed to be capturing. So I'm just going to press OK on this. And there's my screen capture from this folder placed inside here. So this is the main scene that goes out to Twitch. This could be your game capture, your desktop capture, whatever it is that you're streaming. Now we need to add a webcam to this. We've already got one nested scene, which is this screen grab. We've got that in. Now we want to add another source. So instead of going to video capture device, add existing, forget that. What we do is we add another scene. The scene we want is called cam, because we've just added it. Press OK. And there's your cam. This is obviously going to come through in the base resolution. So if you just hold Alt on the keyboard and drag these boxes in, then you can resize it however you want without any complications as well. So use Alt key. Pro tip right there. Right, so now we have our gaming scene, we have our webcam, and we have our screen grab. Now, if you added these individually inside sources, when you adjust one, it will adjust them all. So what I mean by that, I'm just going to pop into my chatting screen. Inside my chatting scene, I want the screen grab. So again, we're going to add a scene, grab the screen grab. There's our screen grab. We're just going to bring this down to show you what I mean. And then we're also going to add another scene, webcam. So we'll grab the cam. And we'll drop that in as well. This is up here again. I'm going to hold the Alt key, just shrink this down. And I'm going to move it to the other side of the screen. So you can see now inside the chatting screen, I've got two nested scenes. I've got the camera nested scene and I've got the screen grab. Okay, but now because they're separate sources, they're not linked as they would be if we put them in the old way. So on the gaming screen, they're this shape. Like I can move these around, put them wherever I want, adjust them, crop them, do whatever I like with them. And then when I come back to the chatting scene, it's this shape. So the old way we used to do it was stack them up in here. So we'd be adding more sources in here. And then if you adjusted it on one scene, it'd be the same on that scene, you know, and then you'd have to copy and paste each one in, and then you'd end up with a list down here as long as your arm, and it's rather confusing. So let me just show you one more. So I'm going to have social pop-ups popping up on my screen. I want some YouTube handles coming up to say, subscribe to the channel, hint, hint, if you haven't already, do so. So we're going to call this scene pop-up, and it's just down here. It's got nothing in it, and we're going to add a media source. We're going to call this pops, and then we know what it is. Local file, I'm just going to browse here. Green screen YouTube pop-up. It's actually a video file, MP4. Here it is right here. I'm going to put it on loop, and then we can see it. I'm going to hold the Alt key again, shrink this down so then there's not much green. So we've got the pop-up scene here. This is our pop-up that we want popping up on screen, obviously minus the green screen. We've done a video on that. If you want to know how to remove green screens from pop-ups like this that you get, or overlays or whatever, check the video out. I'll put a link up here for you. Now I've got our social pop-up here on this scene. Any scene that I want this pop-up to appear in, I can just add it in. So on the gaming screen, I'm going to want to use that pop-up. So we just add scene pop-up. Okay, and there's our pop-up. Again, we can drag the out, use the Alt key, shake this down. Obviously it's on loop, so it's just going to keep popping up. So grab the Alt key, we pop it down, and then we bring it down and we position it wherever we want. Perfect. And as before, we can just jump to any screen that we want this pop-up in, or this picture, or whatever it may be. So we'll jump over to the chatting scene. So we want the pop-up scene in here as well. So we just add scene pop-up. This could be a photo, a logo, a background, a webcam frame, absolutely anything you want. But I do recommend using these lines to divide them up as well. Super, super handy. So we can add whatever we want. Here I'm just going to add a background. Just going to call it background, BG. Inside the background source, add a media source. When I can find it, media source, we're just going to leave it called media source. Browse my PC like I did before. We'll leave it on a loop, and then it'll keep going round and round until we get it sorted out. So here's a background for a stream. So any scene that you want this on, which you're going to want it on maybe your chatting screen as a background to fill the gaps in. Again, we just add, go to scene, grab the BG for background, add it in, move it down the list so it's at the bottom, because this works in layers. And there you have our scene. But that's your basic way how to build a scene with nested scenes. Super easy, super useful. But once you get your head around putting sources inside scenes and scenes inside sources, it is confusing. I get that, and it does take a while, but once you get your head around that, easy. Well, it looks like we've run out of time before I had a chance to show you how to make your OBS colourful. So if you want to know how to make your OBS different colours, put different themes on it, stay tuned. I'll put that in the next video. So I do hope somebody somewhere found this video useful. If you did, hit that like button for us. It does really help YouTube algorithm show this video to more people. And I will be doing more OBS videos and Davinci Resolve tutorials as well. So keep your eye on the page for that. And I'll see you on the next one. Appreciate your eyes and ears, guys. And as always,